guys, welcome back to Child Life Diaries. If you don't already know, I am Bria. I am a full-time nanny and grad student in Chicago getting my master's in child development with a concentration in child life. I started making videos because I feel like there's not a space like this where somebody is getting up close and personal with the process of becoming certified and taking those grad courses, doing the volunteer hours, going through the process of internships, and then becoming a CCLS. And I feel like as somebody who is not well represented in the demographic of what CCLSs are, I can fill those shoes. A lot of the videos that I saw when I was Googling it were just little snippets from hospitals posting day in the life of a CCLS, or what is a CCLS, or our child life and creative arts program and stuff like that, but nothing that falls into the line of vlogs or Q&As or something face-to-face like what I'm doing. I also make other videos, but this is a new series that I'm doing because I think that it's very valuable and that it can help other people like me who are out there thinking, is this something that I want to get into? I already have one episode out just talking about what a CCLS is, so watch that. If you haven't, maybe leave comments. I need to know if people are liking these videos. And this episode is going to be about the Internship Readiness Common Application, which people well know can be a stressful thing to fill out. So I'm just going to give them tips and tricks about what I've done and what I've been told by friends, mentors in my grad program. And we're just going to hop right into it. So first things first, if you haven't looked at the application ever, and or if you haven't looked at it in a couple years, some things have changed where it is no longer an online portal where you fill everything out, upload your transcripts and eligibility assessment, and then download it all as one PDF. Now there is the Child Life Certification Commission mini site within the ACLP website, which is childlife.org. They have their own mini site in there, and that is where you're going to go to download the fillable PDF to your computer and then fill out that. And then after that is filled out, you can attach it to your transcripts and your eligibility assessment yourself, but it is no longer just a portal where you do that all at once. The eligibility assessment is something else that you will fill out on this website, but we're not talking about that right now because that is just not what I want to talk about right now. I'll do maybe a mini video about that because it's really not that complicated. So once you download the PDF, there's going to be like an opening page talking about what is the application, what are the components, and how to complete it. Really, it's just saying this is the application that all of the internship sites are strongly encouraged to use, and that you are talking about what courses you have taken, what experiences you have, and then having your KSA information and DEI information. All of that stuff is what you're filling out in this application, and let's go through it one by one because it's a lot of stuff at once. So when you begin, it's just some demographic questions about what is your name, what is your email, are you an affiliated student, when did you graduate, and what classes are you in / have you completed already. Most internship sites will accept you if you have in-progress classes, but those classes need to be finished before you start the application. I haven't seen a site that will take somebody who is still taking death and dying, for example, while they are in the internship. All of the courses that are required have to be finished before the internship starts, but they can be in progress while you are applying for internships. If you are a student who is affiliated with an endorsed college program, which my program is, but I didn't do it this way, but if you are doing endorsed, then your eligibility assessment will be very easy. And if you are not doing endorsed, then you have to upload each class separately. But all it needs to know here, you're going to put the name and contact information of your academic supervisor for the internship on the application. It's really easy, straightforward. You don't have to be an affiliated student. You don't have to be in college for every single internship, but a lot of internships do say that they will only want affiliated students. And even then, some of the sites will only take students that already have an affiliation agreement. So even though I am in college, there are some hospitals that will not accept me because they are not taking any more students from colleges that they don't already have an affiliation agreement with, which is crazy to me, but whatever, make it even more competitive. So after you fill out the demographic information, you're going into your documentation of experiences. It offers you the opportunity to fill out 6 experiences, and I highly recommend that you use every single one of those experiences, because really just talking about how you have been able to learn and grow and how that relates to being a CCLS is really important. Even if you feel like it's something small, just put it on there, because it will show that you care. Basically, it'll show that you care and that you are really passionate about what you're doing and that you take value in even the small experiences. I also want to point out that each experience is unique, but that does not mean that it has to come from a unique location. So you can have experience 1 and experience 2 be 2 very different things that you went through, and 2 very different lessons that you learned connected to 2 different KSAs, but they can both come from the same location. So they can both be from the same hospital or from the same practicum, same camp. But if they are 2 separate experiences, you can put them as 1 and 2. It doesn't have to be different locations, which makes it more equitable for people who do not have the opportunity to go to a lot of different locations. You're still able to talk about your valuable experiences even without having multiple sites. So with the experiences, you're going to talk about the setting, your roles, and how you feel like this experience has prepared you to become a child life professional. Each of them gives you 250 characters to fill with each of those sections. And what I've been told is that you should use every single one of those characters. So when you are describing the setting, you're not talking about specifically where you are. So if you were at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, you're not going to say that. You're just going to describe, oh, this is a children's hospital, standalone, it has this many beds. These are the units I was in. Talk about the description of it without naming it, because they also want to be equitable and understand that not everybody can go to top name hospitals. But as long as you are in a setting that is valuable, then you're chill. So what I suggest is just going on the website, looking at what the hospital offers, and kind of paraphrasing it, talking about where you were in the units, how many beds they have, and a lot of different descriptive things about the hospital, and use as many characters as you can. Same with description of your roles and responsibilities. Use all 250 characters, get into specifics, talk about what you did day to day, talk about, even if it's a small responsibility that you had that you only did once or twice, it's still something that you did in the location. So talk about it, be very descriptive. And then when you are reflecting on each of these experiences, again, use all 250 characters. Not characters, I keep saying characters, words. Use all 250 words, and without saying the name of the KSA, just connect it to a KSA, which a KSA is the Internship Readiness, Knowledge, Skills, and Abilities. And there's a list of those that you can also find on the ACLP/CLCC websites that will tell you what each of those are. And when you're describing how this experience has prepared you for being a child life specialist, it connected to that without mentioning it. So saying that you felt like you were able to use your developmental knowledge, or that you were able to see health disparities, or you were able to gain a better grasp of the scope of knowledge of a CCLS, or scope of care and responsibilities of a CCLS. Talk about that in how the role prepared you, and try to be more specific and more meaningful with your experience, not just saying oh, I had fun and I was able to hang out with kids. Yeah, that's kind of what every experience is going to be. You're interacting with children, but what specifically did this experience get you in relation to child life work? So you're doing that with every experience, all 6 of those experiences, using all of the words, being very descriptive, being very meaningful with your descriptions, and you want to be specific and concise. Don't use too many filler words, because even if you are getting 250 words and you're not being meaningful and not being purposeful and not being concise with what you're saying, it's not going to come across as well. So try to be really purposeful and intentional with what you're saying for those experiences. And then after that, you're going to have a question specifically about the KSAs. So the first question is asking you to take one of your experiences that specifically happened in a hospital setting and to talk about how it prepared you for child life while connecting it to one or more KSAs. Again, with this question, you are going to want to use all 250 of those words, and you want to connect it to the KSAs. But what I was told was that you do not have to specifically here either list what KSA it is that you are talking about. Just allude to it in your answer with how you're describing your experience. The readers of the application should be able to pick up what it is that you're talking about. So the next question is looking for your experience outside of a healthcare setting, and it is asking how you were able to use your developmental knowledge and engage with children in a developmentally appropriate way. So they allow you to choose any experience that you talk about this, and you want to, again, use all 250 of the words, be very descriptive. And with this one, I think that it's great if you could bring in some theorists, like talk about Erickson, talk about Vygotsky, Piaget, Grafenbrenner, freaking Maslow. You can bring in any theorist that will display your knowledge without being too, this is what I know about the theorist. Just say, hey, I was interacting with 10 and 11-year-olds and they fall into Erickson's industry versus inferiority, and or talk about, I'm working with 0 to 2 in the sensory motor, or talk about something like that and explain how you were able to understand their needs in a developmental way and work around whatever issue may have come up or whatever instance that you were in the experience. And this one for me, I think it's it was cool to use an experience that that you had to specifically use your knowledge. Like if you're just working in a daycare and you're like, hey, I had a kid who, their gross motor was at this level and I held their hands as they walked across the room. Yes, that is developmental knowledge, but I think that it's more meaningful if you try to take an instance where you had a conflict, maybe like mine was solving a conflict between 10 and 11-year-olds, and using my knowledge of Erickson to say oh, I know that they want industry and they want a little bit of autonomy, but they also, are looking for acceptance. So that's how I was able to solve the issue at hand. And also mine was during my practicum. So I was able to say hey, I involved the CCL, blah, blah, blah. I used a meaningful to me situation that really displayed my knowledge rather than just kind of I wasn't using memorization, I wasn't just saying, oh, I memorized this about this age group. I was saying I was really able to apply my knowledge about this age group. I feel like I'm more bottoming right now, but I really want to drive in the fact that you want to be intentional and meaningful about what you say and kind of get past that surface level of, I know theorists. It's well, yes, you know theorists, but how are you applying the theorists? So the next question after that is about having a DEI growth mindset. So DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this question, my advisor really made sure to say you want to get past surface level with this experience. This experience doesn't even have to be related to one of the experiences that were in year 6. It's just, and it doesn't have to be related to even working with children or working in a hospital setting either. It's just talking about an experience that helped you understand DEI and helped you either see where you could grow more or see where, well, I was about to say the same thing twice. See where maybe you were lacking or see where you had gained a better understanding about it. You want to not just say, oh, I know that equity is important because I went to a hospital and I saw poor people and I saw how they, I don't even know how to do this in a way that you wouldn't want to do it, but you just want to, again, use all of the words as for every question, and you want to get past that surface level of answering this question. So you want to make this as personal as you can so that the readers of your application feel like they are connecting with you and they're understanding where you're coming from. It might be a little uncomfortable, but I feel like if you're uncomfortable, that's when you know that you're really getting into the deep stuff, Also, I feel like my microphone has been off for a while. I just noticed that it was off. So if the volume has been a little wonk, I'm sorry, but we're just going to keep going because I've recorded so much already. So it is what it is. I think I've been talking loud enough, but I do have an air purifier over there that's on, so it might be a little wonky donk. Okay. Anyways, so the next question is, you're going to specifically choose a KSA that you want to grow and learn more about during your internship. This one, my advisor told me that there's some that are obviously everybody's going to choose those, saying maybe you want to know the knowledge and scope of child life practice more, or maybe you want to, the DEI one, a lot of people are going to choose that one because it's yes, that's very meaningful, but also there's only so many that you can choose from. So whoever's reading your application is going to be reading a lot of the same stuff. So I think that if you can find one that you're actually very passionate about and that you can write in a way that makes them know dang, this person really wants to learn about that, that would be good. This one, they only give you 150 words to use, so it's a 100 words less than everything else, but I feel like you can still be concise, use all of those words, and really let them know why it is that you want to learn stuff. Like maybe you do want to know more about the scope of childlike practice, but like let them know why in a way that helps them see that you're passionate about it and that like you really do want to learn more, you know? This one's just hard because it's like they're going to be reading the same things over and over again. So you really want to personalize it for this one so that they're getting to know you in this question and that they're getting to understand, like, is this somebody who is going to be great for our program based on what they are wanting to learn? So for question 5, it says, any additional information or experiences that were not shared elsewhere in the application that are important for reviewers to know? What I was told for this question is that this is where you're going to let yourself and your personalities shine. This is when you're going to tell them, hey, you want me in your program because I am like this. Like maybe you're just talking about your hobby of knitting sweaters for kittens on the weekend, but like, you're framing that in a way like, this is where I do my self-care. Like I am able to handle the emotional load of being a CCLS because I knit sweaters for kittens on the weekends and on my time off. So like I have a creative outlet for expressing my emotions and like handling the grief and the load of being in this job. Or just, talking about yourself and like maybe you're talking about your learning style and you're saying, hey, like I really value reflective supervision and I really value being a self-starter, but having somebody, in my corner who I can talk to whenever I need help, having open communication. Talking about that stuff is how they're going to be getting to know you and thinking, is this person going to fit into our team? Is this person going to be great for our program? And yeah, my teacher said that this is like the question that really can make or break you if they're between a couple of different students for their program. This personality question, it's a goodness of it, are you going to fit in the culture? They're going to know more about you from this question, so it is something that you really want to think about and really make sure that you are being intentional with this question, just like every other question. You wouldn't think that this is like an important one because it's just like, oh, is there anything else, after listing all of your experiences and talking about DEI and everything, oh, this microphone is definitely off again. Okay, I guess I have no microphone, but my other one's dead for sure. So yeah, you wouldn't think that this is an important question, but it is, because it's really just letting your personality and who you are shine. So after that, you're just checkmarking, you're dating, you're saying yes, everything here is true, because they don't ask for a signature since it's like an online thing. So that check mark is for you saying everything that I said here is true to the best of my knowledge, and that you are submitting this as is. So the application does not have to be scary is what I'm trying to say, which I said at the beginning. It doesn't have to be, actually maybe I didn't say that in the beginning of this one. I did so many beginning takes before deciding that this was the one that I was going to stick to. But if you start early like I did, you don't have to start a year and a half early like I did, but I think like giving yourself ample time to go back through your draft and update it as you go, as you get more experiences, change the wording, make sure that what you're writing is true to you, who you are, get other people to review it. I absolutely abhor peer review, but if you have some classmates who you think that can really help you with it, like get them to read it, read each other's applications, give each other tips. If you have an advisor who can help you, an internship coordinator, give them your draft and have them read through it and tell you, what they think that you should change or what they think is great. And it doesn't have to be scary. Once you are finished with that, you just save it as a PDF. You combine it with your transcripts, with your eligibility assessment, and you have to email it to every single location that you're applying to. Some locations, for me, I have a list of, I think, 20 hospitals that I'm applying to, and only 4 of them have an online portal, but some do have an online portal where you kind of fill out things there, and then you upload your PDFs yourself into their portal. But most hospitals just have an email that you send it to, and sometimes they give you a specific body text or a specific title of the email. What is it? It's not called title of the email, but because I can't remember what it's called, specific title, subject. Some of them have a specific subject of the email. Some of them have, a date that the application opens, because they only accept 60 applications. I'm looking at you, Dallas. But It's a simple process, but I think that they should change it. Only because for applying to colleges, you know, we had like the common application where you went on there, you put in your college code, and then they sent everything out. So like you just had to put in all the college codes, and then you like are like complete, send my application. I feel like they should do it that way. I don't know how hard it is to get things to be that way, but to me, it seems like a better way, because going through and emailing every single hospital, that just feels like a lot to me. But I'm gonna do it in a way. I'm gonna figure out how to do it on Excel and through Word, where you can do like merge mail and you just type out one thing and then you can put in all the emails and it'll send it all at once but separately, instead of like sending it CC, it just sends all of the emails separately. So I have my Excel sheet filled out. I'm gonna try to do it that way, but that might be hard. So I don't even suggest trying to do that unless you know how to use Excel and Word, as I don't, because you might mess that up and I might mess that up, but still, yeah. So this is where I'm gonna end the video. I hope that this was helpful. I feel like a lot of what I say is just word vomit, but I hope that there's some things that are meaningful to you in this. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment, because I will reply. I only have like 10 subscribers, so it's not like I'm not going to see your comments if you have any questions, but ask them. I have a wealth of knowledge that I love to share, and I just want to help as a CCLS does. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, tell me if there's any other videos you specifically want me to do. I will do one about the eligibility assessment, because it can be a little confusing depending on if you are in an endorsed program or not, but